Coming up on Hoge and Jahns, back from a weekend off, watching the film from one of the Bears' biggest wins in years. Kevin Fishbane is going to join us. The Bears are the 1 seed in the NFC all of a sudden, and we have a great Cyber Monday deal for you as well. It all starts right now on Hoge and Jahns. What's up? Welcome in. Hope everybody enjoyed the rest of their Thanksgiving weekend break. Everybody rejoices the kids go back to school today. Johns, what the hell happened to this world? When I was a kid, we didn't get a whole week off of school.
My kids did not.
School?
No.
Okay, good. Shout out to the Catholic schools.
Some did. No, okay. Let me correct that. Some Catholic schools did. Ours did not.
Did they still go through Wednesday?
They got Wednesday off.
Okay. See, we used to go. I mean, we maybe had a half day Wednesday, but now I'm going to sound like the old guy. I mean, I remember all these road trips up to the Northwoods of Wisconsin, like on Wednesday afternoon. You get out of school,
hit the road.
Sometimes there'd be a snowstorm. Over the river and through the woods to grandma's house we go. I mean, it was wild. Now you can just get a whole week off. And I think it's a scam because anywhere you go, it's like Thanksgiving week camp for your kids to come to. I'm like, I already paid for school. Why are they not in school? Now I got to pay for a camp? What's going on here?
Yeah. It's okay.
That's my
family time in a sense. Crabby time.
Yeah, I'm being 20% serious about all that. But yeah, hopefully everybody enjoyed their weekend and your Thanksgiving. I know everybody enjoyed Black Friday because that was a hell of a Bears win, which we're going to talk about here. And it is Cyber Monday, so right off the top, we're going to tell you about this great deal. I mean, everybody taking advantage of the Jahns code. That's awesome. But over the next 2 days, if you're still on the fence, how about this deal? We are all in together now, as we should be, as Chicago sports are back. 67% off right now if you become a diehard today or tomorrow.
6-7.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice that. Who did that? Who did that?
Well, now everyone will remember it.
Right. That is good. 67% off. So $26 for your first year. You get your free T-shirt. And they even put that nice Hoge Jahns hat there on the front of that graphic for you. It looks good. All right. A lot of great, and I know our sale on merch is still going on as well. So if you want to load up,
today might be the last day for the sale, though. Correct on the merch?
Yeah, I think so. So get on that today. We did extend it through Cyber Monday, and I appreciate everybody who sent me some photos from all over the world that I put together. For video last night. Love seeing the merch all over the U.S., all over the world. We had Mexico represented, Denmark, Spain. There were a couple other countries in there too. London, of course. Plenty from
London
Vegas.
Is not a country.
I know. Well, I'm just giving a city. You're right. London is not a country. It is part of a different country though.
Correct. There you go.
All right. The Bears are the number 1 seed in the NFC, Johns.
You like that? How about that?
I was at the Hawks game yesterday and was watching that game on my phone. They had the Rams-Panthers game in the fourth quarter as the Hawks game was underway. And I'm like, man, this is still – because I was listening to it on the way down. I was playing – it's just crazy to be scoreboard watching here at the end of November, early December. And we're not just talking about the NFC North. We're talking about the whole conference and a possibility at a first-round bye and having home field until the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know if that's going to stick. We'll see. The schedule's tough, but it's fun while it's lasting right now.
Well, I put that in my column on Friday night, that it's not just about making the playoffs. It's playoff seeding, where the Bears fit amongst the playoff teams. Because I think at this point, yes, there's a scenario that no one wants to talk about where they don't make it. And I understand that, but I think we should know better by now. At least I'm learning that the Bears could beat any team, that they should be in any game. that maybe this 5.5 point spread against the Green Bay Packers may work in their favor because it's bulletin board material. Like, I think there's questions about the Bears that rightfully linger, and I understand that, but at the same time, they're 9-3, and a lot of numbers say they're a good team.
I'm kind of tired about hearing about point differential because I know that matters, but so much, like, I know you can't throw out the Lions game, but I think with the large sample size we've seen now, that Lions game was the exception, not the rule, and that totally inflates the point margin the wrong way. So, but I get it. They've also played a ton of close games, and it is what it is. But I don't think that's really something that should be used against the Bears a ton, unless you're being like, well, you should be blowing some teams out. Well, maybe, I guess if you want to go back and look at the Giants game or the Saints game and stuff like that, could they, does a better team blow them out? I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of games where, like, the Broncos went to overtime last night against a Commanders team that's way worse now than they were when the Bears played them. It's the NFL. It's a hard league.
They're winning close games. I just don't understand. Like, at some point, you just have to recognize that winning close games is better than losing close games.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Like, I understand that some of it might not be sustainable, but you know what? The Bears just beat the Philadelphia Eagles by 9 points, correct? So more than one score. So, like, I don't know. Like, give them credit for being a winning football team.
But and so here's where I'm going to go with this. Like, at some point, I get it. We're in this era of numbers, and numbers matter, and analytics, and all this stuff. And I'm not against that by any means. I'm all for it. In fact, I think I'm right where I should be, where they should help complement what's actually on the field to help you make informed decisions. That's what they are. Shouldn't make all your decisions based on them. Where I'm going with this is, okay, let's go to the field, though. I think the Bears have two things that should be sustainable. There is a strong argument you can make right now that they have the best offensive line in football, or at least their offensive line right now is playing the best in the NFL and continually seems to be getting better. Now, I did think at times their pass protection could have been better in that Eagles game. But from a run perspective, absolutely dominant against one of the better fronts you're going to see in the Philadelphia Eagles, one of the most physical fronts you're going to see in the Philadelphia Eagles. And that run game right now looks more than sustainable because there's a ton of numbers, if you want to go back to the numbers, that show you that they're the best rushing football team in the NFL right now. So, all right, if we're going to use the numbers, that seems to matter because, Johns, that to me is something that should carry over well into December and January for a team that we're now talking about not only just getting to the playoffs, but more of a conversation, how far can they go?
Especially when you're talking about some outdoor games when it's cold.
Yeah.
The weather comes into play, just like we saw in Philadelphia. Officially, the Bears are so after Friday night, they were the number one rushing offense. And then the Buffalo Bills decided to run for almost 300 yards on Sunday. So the Bears are now back to number 2 in rushing offense, just barely behind the Bills.
All right. But I think of all the stats I saw from Friday was that they put up more rushing yards on a Vic Fangio defense than any team had since 2005 when he was coordinating the Houston Texans. And they beat that number by like 30. I don't have it in front of me. I think it was like 248, I want to say, that they gave up in when Fangio was with the Texans back in 2005. So we're talking about 20 years ago. Guy who's probably been the best defensive coordinator in the league over that time period. Like or at least has that case. It's pretty incredible.
Adam, we're about to discuss, analyze a December of football that we haven't been able to in years. Like even in 2018, I don't even think we've covered a December like this. Even like in 2018, I believe at this point, the Bears had a pretty sizable lead in the division. I know eventually early in December, they sealed it with the win against Green Bay at Soldier Field, but you have playoff implications with 2 games against the Packers. You have the trip to San Francisco, where playoff implications will matter again. This is going to be one interesting December where numbers matter, but the outcome is the most important thing.
I don't remember the 1 seed being as much of a possibility that year, though. And I'd have to go back and look at it, but
I'll pull it up.
I mean, because didn't they end up being the 3 seed?
That's why they got the Eagles.
And that was before they went to 7 games. So your 1 and 2 seeds got the bye. So maybe the bye was in play, but I don't. And while you're looking that up, I'll give you this note from Courtney Cronin last night. This was a good nugget. She put it out on Twitter from ESPN Research. This is the latest in a season that the Bears have held at least a share of the best record in the NFC since the end of the 2006 season. That year, they had the NFC's best record at 13-3, and of course, went to the Super Bowl.
So the 2 teams that had better records than the Bears in 2018, if we're going to go down memory lane here, were the Saints at 13-3 and Rams at 13-3. The Bears finished at 12-4.
Okay, so they weren't that far off.
No. Let's look at their December slate. So 2018 opened with that loss against the Giants in December. Then they beat those Rams. Remember the Rams game? 15-6. And then the week after that, they beat the Green Bay Packers 24-17 to secure the NFC North.
So I got this nugget, too, from my guy Mike Allardyce, who I used to work with at NBC Sports Chicago. He's awesome. And loves listening to Hoge Jahns. So he sent me this nugget to share on the show. He said, at least from what he could find, since 1990, he could only find 2 teams that started 0-2 and came all the way back to get the 1 seed. It's the 1993 Cowboys coming off the Super Bowl. But you may remember, and especially if you just watched the Netflix documentary on those Cowboys, part of the reason why they started 0-2 that season was because Emmitt Smith was holding out. They didn't have Emmitt Smith. And then
He might help.
Yeah, and then the only other one he could find was the Eagles in 2003. They started 0-2 and came back not the 1 seed. So,
either way, what we're watching is impressive.
Yeah. Without a doubt. Also always impressive, Kevin Fishbane. I feel like we should talk to him.
It's been
Bring him into the show. We do need to take a quick timeout before we do that, though. But Kevin, longtime friend of the show, does a great job covering the Bears for The Athletic. He will join us next. Don't go anywhere, but first.
1 touchdown can change everything. Actually, we saw that in Philadelphia, that Cole Kmet touchdown. That changed a lot. The crowd, the momentum, the game itself, it never gets old. Feel that same rush with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And get this, Missouri listeners, DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me State. Here's the best part. New customers just bet $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. I think the Packers are 5.5-point favorites against the Bears this week. Something to think
Bears
about.
Got them right where they want them.
I would agree. Think about it. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Hoge Jahns. That's code Hoge Jahns. So let's do this again. Code Hoge Jahns. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And you're probably, if you're like me, maybe spent some of the weekend shopping, trying to figure out some gifts for the holidays already. Here's an option that I definitely think you should check out. It is Brunt. Brunt work boots, Brunt workwear. This is great stuff. You might have seen it in our studios at CHGO. But Brunt's best-selling Marin work boots are not only built for the toughest job sites. They're completely waterproof. Would have been nice with the snow we got over the weekend. Whether it's that rain, mud, or standing water, your feet stay dry. And Brunt isn't just about work boots. They offer a full range of high-performance gear built for tough jobs, from heavy-duty work pants to weather-resistant jackets. Brunt designs durable, reliable workwear to keep you protected and productive in any conditions. So check them out. With those temps dropping, the holidays coming up, it is time to treat yourself or maybe a hardworking individual in your life to real comfort. Skip the throwaway gifts. Get them something built to last. Brunt Workwear. Our listeners get $10 off their entire order with code CHGO at checkout. That's bruntworkwear.com. Use code CHGO. Order today and let them know you heard it here on Hoge Jahns. So, Kevin, we just witnessed one of, if not the best wins the Bears have ever had in the time that we've covered this team. They seem to get some respect. And now we're waking up on Monday morning. They are 5.5-point underdogs to the Green Bay Packers. And I read a Mike Sando column this morning about how they're not as good as their record is. So how does this end? Will it ever change? Like, what else does Ben Johnson and this team have to do to convince anyone that they are actually good, considering that it is December 1st and they currently hold the number 1 seed in the NFC?
I do love the idea of, like, if they won the Super Bowl, if the next day someone's like, well, their DVOA is actually 14th, and this is the worst DVOA for a Super Bowl champion of all time.
Right.
I'm at the point now where I feel like those conversations are going to matter in the fall, when we're kind of in the summer, like when we are trying to project what this team is going to look like in year 2. There's going to be a lot of reason for excitement and a lot of reason to project that Caleb Williams is going to take a next step, and all these different things. That's when you can look back and say, okay, what was this team really? But for right now, in the moment, like, this is a good team. And I know, Hoge, the podcast Solid Verbal. So shout out to Dan Rubenstein, who has this line: winning is a skill. Like, it is a skill to win, and these guys keep winning, and that matters. I think you can acknowledge the things that, analytically, that they aren't great at. But to me, the flip side of that is, that means they can still be a lot better as a football team, especially in the passing game. So, yeah, it's kind of a funny dichotomy, but that. It's one of the things that comes with a league that's covered much more by numbers than we've kind of become accustomed to.
And especially quarterback numbers, because that's where I think the struggles in the analysis is that you have this team that's winning first place in the NFC, and the quarterback's numbers aren't very good. Completion percentage in the 50s. I don't know what you make of that type of analysis, or Caleb Williams' place in this, or what you see as next, but where would you factor in, I guess, Caleb's struggles in the evaluation of this team?
At some point in the third quarter, I started to tweet out, like, Caleb Williams is now, whatever it was at that point, it was like 9 for 22. And friend of the program, Courtney Cronin, I kind of, said, I go, is it okay if that is his actual numbers right now? He is 9 for 22. And she said, if you do it, go for it, but watch out. Like, you can't, it's like,
can't hit unsend on that one. That
right.
Tweet about his numbers.
Yeah. So it's a weird deal with him because, I thought who did they just beat? The Eagles. The Philadelphia win reminded me a little bit of Vegas as far as Caleb goes, because remember, Caleb was doing nothing for 3 quarters, and the fourth quarter he made a couple of those big passes and had a couple really critical scrambles on that final drive. You go back to Friday night, after the interception, he was 5 for 7 passing. He converted 2 third downs, a fourth down, and had a touchdown. I mean, you can't get much better than that. So, I mean, you guys know this, and I know you talked about this on the show. Like, the bar in Chicago should not be Mitch Trubisky and Justin Fields. But having said that, I think that when we watch Caleb Williams and we look at the numbers, I think we can all tell that this is a better quarterback who should have a better trajectory moving forward, even if the numbers aren't what you would like them to be. They're not let's put this, they're not Drake May numbers right now. And like that, I think is okay.
So I'm going to break this down later in the week. I still need a couple more answers, specifically on throws that were impacted by the wind. Like, I have an idea of a couple that I have highlighted. But obviously the accuracy was still somewhat of an issue in the game. I went through all 30, I had 39 dropbacks because I don't count that little flip pass forward as an actual passing play, even though it goes down in the stats as one. Guys, I didn't have him down for a single bad decision in this game. And I think that's something that's super interesting about his last 2 weeks, because his decision-making to me has been very, very good. And it's more of the accuracy that needs to come around. Some of the footwork I thought was sloppy at times, Johns. We talked about that on Saturday's show too. But I remain highly encouraged by the fact that I think if you watch these games and how he's managing the offense and operating within the offense, Ben Johnson has him playing quarterback right now. And I think he's running the offense. He's running an under center play action, strong running game offense. And I think if you ask Ben Johnson back in, April and May when this team first got together, that if by December 1st, regardless of what the numbers are, if he could get Caleb Williams doing that in his system, he would 100% sign up for it and take it. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. I think the rest, his talent and the accuracy and all that stuff will come around. This is the basic stuff that he had to master first.
It's a great point, Hoge, because one of the reasons that I feel like we are highlighting the missed throws is because guys are open and he's throwing it to these open players, which means they're getting schemed open. They are skilled enough to get open, and Caleb is recognizing it and throwing it to them, and he's had some misses. So I think it's a really good point that this is not he can't read the defense problem or he doesn't know the playbook problem. And actually, it's something that Sando touched on in his story this Monday morning. Was he talked to another coach or a play caller who said to him, Ben Johnson is getting Caleb Williams to play quarterback and he's not mixing in. But remember the criticism last year was like, why aren't you guys doing college stuff that he did at USC? I feel like that was a big critique of the early Caleb Williams. Like, look at Washington, Jaden Daniels, they're letting him do stuff he did in college. Ben Johnson's not doing stuff like. He's going opposite of what Caleb Williams did in college, but that is how you get this quarterback to progress and grow and become somebody that can get to a point where he could, do it year after year after year, because the college stuff just you can't sustain that.
All right, so the Bears are number 2 in rushing, number 1 in takeaways, number 1 in interceptions, number 1 in turnover differential. Let me get the exact stat here. What are they in overall yardage here? Let's see here. I don't have it, but they're top 10. You know where I'm going with this. Like, do you have any favorite numbers, Mr. Numbers Guy, that illustrate the Bears' success? Do you have – give us some advanced statistics, Fishman, like that show us that maybe some criticism is unwarranted with how good the Bears actually might be.
A few weeks ago, I thought about the 2013 team because it was the last time we covered a team with a good offense. Really, 2018, the offense was good. It was above average, but there was some smoke and mirrors there. Like that, 2013 was the last time we really covered an offense that scored a lot of points. And I was thinking about that team because that 2013 team had the worst run defense in Bears history. And if they made the playoffs, which they were one play away from making the playoffs, they would have been destroyed by San Francisco. I think we all remember that. This team, I'm now moved far away from that comparison because this team, first of all, has more ways that they can score. They've shown they can play with good teams. They're not getting blown out. They would never lose 54 to 11 like that team did. The other thing is, Johns, to your point, third down. Like the way these guys are in these critical situations. So on third down on offense, they are 6th in the league in moving the sticks. And that's where Caleb Williams is also, shown up with some of these. It could be just a 5 to 7 yard throw to a Colson Loveland or Roma Dunze. So I think like you can go through the passing numbers and, they could be better, but I think that, and then obviously we've talked a lot, and you guys have touched on this a lot, and Johns, you wrote about, is that third down defense. 7th right now in the league. And that went up a bit after the Steelers game because the Steelers, I think, were 8 for 14 or something. They had a pretty good percentage. And then against the Eagles, I think the Eagles were 2 for 9, or started out 2 for 9, I want to say, on third down. So you're looking at those key critical scenarios where the Bears are playing their best football. And I think that's kind of what separates this team. Like, yes, if you look at overall advanced stats and EPA and DVOA, they might, outside of running the football, they don't score very well. But when it comes down to it, in those critical spots, they're finding ways on offense to keep possession and on defense to get the offense off the field.
To your point, against the Eagles, if you just go to like his last throw of the third quarter on, which was actually a 4th down conversion, but still part of the same conversation, right? That huge 4th down conversion on that out to Colson Loveland was 4th and 5. It was a great throw, great catch. 3rd down, he was standing in the pocket, really good patience on a mesh concept, waiting for DJ Moore to get open. Cole Kmet kind of rubbed the middle linebacker that was sitting there because it was actually zone instead of man, which usually mesh works better against man. But Caleb had the patience. He hit DJ Moore, can move the sticks. Again, later, accurate. They ran that little bubble to the outside to Olamide Zaccheaus. That was one of the best sort of outside snap, quick throws that Caleb has thrown with accuracy to get OZ moving forward. And he picked up 10 on that play. And then the last one, he scrambled. The last third down, he scrambles for a first down, which may or may not have been a design run. It's a little bit unclear. I think he probably had maybe a throw option once he booted out, but then you always knew the run was there as part of the play. So I think it's a combination of, to your point, Kevin, a lot of good designs, but again, getting back to the idea that Caleb is running this offense and in control of things on money downs, which is a huge part of playing that position in the NFL.
By the way, I don't know, Johns, you asked me for an advanced stat. How about this one? The Bears, 9-3 since Johns deserted me and went to CHGO.
Great point.
It's about as advanced as you get.
I mean,
or they're 9-3 since Dan Wiederer joined the Athletic.
There you go.
So
Lots
I
of
don't know
different
if
ways you can look
the
at it.
solution or the problem, but I'm not sure.
I think it's worth pointing out.
Anyway,
sorry, I had to admit we've been talking for 13 minutes, and I had to derail the
Katie
podcast.
Flashing the Die Hard offer on the screen though. Right now. That was fantastic. Use code Johns to sign up. Use the QR code.
Oh shoot!
Cyber Monday, great deal.
Where's
available.
my Athletic Cyber Monday deals? Does the athletic.com/Hoge Jahns still work?
It might.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It might.
Go to the Athletic. Subscribe today.
How about you subscribe to both? That'd be great.
Hey, subscribe to my podcast.
Even better.
That one's free, and that
is free.
Wait, who did you have on last week again?
Last week was Kevin Clark, who's been on this show
was.
before, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah, he was great.
Somewhat recently.
Top. I don't know. It was a really good episode, and I have sometime in December will be another Hoge Jahns guest. We already recorded. That will be a December episode. Very, very good.
There are a lot of colleagues of ours kind of, trying to state their case in that media room, just letting you know.
Yeah. I gotta be careful. I think I've been over promising a little bit. Like, oh yeah, I'll get you. I'll do an episode with you soon. Yeah, no, I've got you lined up. You guys are still the most downloaded episode of the show.
That's right.
So
that's right. Take that, Kevin Clark. I don't know. Johns, you have another Bears question for him?
I was thinking, by the way, of having a similar to Hoge Jahns, having a Dion and Peggy episode of Breaking In. Wouldn't that be good?
That'd be good.
Yeah,
that would be good. By the way, it's called Breaking In with Kevin Fishbane. Go subscribe. It's good stuff.
Subscribe onto the YouTube page. John's taught me that's important.
Correct.
It is. We still have that problem here, though. Like, I guarantee you right now, somebody's watching this that is not subscribed, and if you are that person, hit subscribe and then go over to Kevin's channel, Breaking In, and subscribe there too. It's not hard. We appreciate it.
All right, I got a Bears question.
Okay.
So since Kevin wrote an exceptional story, I got to be honest, on Good, Better, Best.
Yes.
I was going for it myself. Beat me to it. Well done, Kevin. What did you make of Ben Johnson's shirt coming off during his last, I guess, Good, Better, Best?
So I'm very fascinated. We were recording this, an hour before we're going to talk to Ben, and I'm
Correct.
sure the question is going to be who is going to, because it's Zoom, so it's going to be based on, hands being raised. Who gets the question in before Pat Finley?
Because there's going to be a lot of follow-ups.
Yeah. So
what do you eat? How much do you diet? How much do you lift?
Listen, I guess if you work out like Ben Johnson does, you don't have to worry about any kind of being embarrassed. What do the kids call it? Going tarps off.
Is that what they call it? I don't know. Yeah. Did anybody else have a wife that made a comment about it, or was that just mine?
Just yours.
Okay.
It's funny. My kids have started watching. They like watching the Good, Better, Best video. It's like each week.
Yeah.
So like, oh, and this one they think it's the funniest thing in the world. They're like, Dad, the coach took his shirt off. What was it? Oh, why? Yeah, I'm very curious to see how long this was in the works. Why this game? What George McCaskey might have thought.
He's probably gonna say something like I do want to know what George thought. He's probably gonna say something like, I was just waiting for them to put 60 minutes of football together.
So Johns, you were in the locker room after the game for the full locker room. You were not in the Ben Johnson press conference.
Correct.
Did somebody talk about it? Did any of the players talk about it in the locker room?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
So Ben Johnson's press conference started at 6:29 p.m. Eastern time. And I was in there with our good friend Patrick Finley and that other friend Larry Mayer, and we had no idea that he'd done it.
Go ahead.
And Ben goes to the podium and he's straight shooting, doing his thing, and then he's done. He probably finished. I think he finished at like 6:37 ish. At 6:38 was when the NFL tweeted the video of it. So. And we had, because the players hadn't said anything, and like nobody on the Bears said anything to us, we had no idea. That would have been a great opportunity to be like, so Ben, we just saw that you took your shirt off about 5 minutes ago. But it is very funny. Like fans should, John's, there's a Star Wars comment here for you. You know how you're supposed to, after you watch Andor, just watch Rogue One?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and after Rogue One, you can go into A New Hope.
No.
Right? Go watch Good, Better, Best from the Eagles game, and then watch his post-game press conference that took place probably 4 minutes after he did that. It's a very funny juxtaposition.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see it until I saw in our CHGO Bear Slack, where I saw the video shared. I'm like, whoa. So I had to ask Caleb about it because this is our only opportunity. The locker room is now closed. Caleb Williams is the only availability left.
Oh, by the way, I appreciate, John's, your shout out in my story. I did write about the origin story of how Good, Better, Best became Ben Johnson's rallying cry. I have that pinned to my Twitter account, and I appreciate people read that as opposed to just watching I believe the Amazon broadcast mentioned it and offered no mention. Yes.
I want you to know that, and I would not expect you to do this, but if you were to go back through our 3-hour watch along on CHGO, where we don't actually have the sound on, so we kind of have it on very, very low, but it can't come through the thing, right? Or that's illegal. So whatever it was enough that I saw it. I could tell that they did not give you a shout out, and I went on a rant right there live on our watch along about how Kevin Fishbane should have gotten a shout out from Amazon for that story. And I'm actually being serious about this. It's not that hard when a broadcast clearly, that's how they prep. They read every local reporter's stuff. And it's good. That's how but when there's something that unique, that someone put that much time and effort into that you then added on to, right? They went and got some extra video or stuff like that, or was that all in your story? I don't.
So I've refused to actually watch it because I think it'll make me too
Yeah.
frustrated. I mean, you guys, I mean, we've all had stories, you know, that we've done mentioned because, as you said, Hoge, broadcasters get all the stories, and so it's not like out of the realm possibility. But I'm pretty sure they showed the video from his high school, which like was in, you know, that's
Yes.
and maybe they got it independently. I don't know. Like all they had to do was like just say the Athletic. They didn't even need to say my name at some point. But that's unfortunately kind of how the business goes.
I had your back. I just want you to know
Thank
that,
you.
and you did deserve that shout out. And I'm just gonna single out somebody that I believe would 100% do that. But Adam Amin is somebody who would do that, and not just because he knows us. I think he would do that in any market where he's reading something, and he would be like, "Hey, credit to this reporter for writing this piece on this," and it's not that hard. So anyway,
All right. Let's play a quick game then before you go. We got about 5 minutes, right? We played this game last with Courtney. Good, better, best. Simple. Who's playing good? Who needs to play better? And who have the Bears' best players been? So Bears have 5 games left this season. It's flown by. First place, the NFC. So Kevin Fishbane, in your opinion, who is playing good right now for the Chicago Bears?
How many players can I name?
Couple, whatever you need to do.
Or
what has been good to open it up a little bit for you?
Kyle Monangai, Drew Dahlman, Joe Tooney, Jonah Jackson, Darnell Wright, Ozzie Trapillo. I guess there's some recency bias here from the game. You know who I think's playing good? Hoge, I'd be curious your take too on this. I think Grady Jarrett the last like 3 games has started to pop a little bit.
Agreed.
So I think that's an encouraging sign for the final month that he is. I really noticed him in the Steelers game. So he's something. Yeah, he's playing good. DeMarco Jackson playing some good football, especially for who he is and the role he's playing.
Context in there, I think he might be playing outstanding football, but I think he fits that good category for sure.
Yeah, those are some guys good. Who needs to play better? You know, it's funny. I think, and I always point this out when fans get upset. The number one person who would tell you that Caleb Williams needs to play better is Caleb Williams. Like he's very upfront about that.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, the other quarterbacks we've covered here have been too. I think Caleb Williams could be more accurate. You know, I just think he could do a better job putting the ball in a spot that at least he can give his receivers a chance.
I would say, sorry, not to. I would just say that I feel like there's 2 players that if this team, like I realize they're the 1 seed technically right now, but if they wanted to hold on to that realistically down this tough stretch of scheduling and actually like maybe make a serious Super Bowl run, if we're going to start talking about that, I'd say there's 2 players that are playing well enough right now that if they played better could actually put them in that category. And that is one, I would say the quarterback, Caleb, because every Super Bowl team needs a quarterback playing at, you know, Super Bowl MVP type level. And I would also put Montez Sweat in there. So Montez has been playing better. He's been on a pretty good run, but man, if he really started to click in as like a dominant pass rusher the rest of the way, that would be kind of the other missing thing that I think they're missing right now from being like true Super Bowl contenders. Is that fair?
Yeah. You know, I'd throw in there maybe on different, not as important as those 2 is Javon Dexter. I'd like, you know, if he could, I think he's had a good season. I put him in the good category, but I think that guy is capable of really bringing his game to a outstanding level. Just we've all seen it. The other conversation about better, I feel like if Caleb Williams plays better, then you start seeing Rome, Odunze, and DJ Moore putting up the numbers that they're capable of. To your best question, Kevin Byard, Deshaun Wright, and I'll say this. I would put Colson Loveland right there. I think Colson Loveland, I haven't done the numbers since yesterday's games, but in the previous 4 games, he was third in the league among tight ends in receiving. And I think he has just been dynamite on some of these really important third downs, goal line. Obviously, the touchdown against Cincinnati, blocking's been good. I mean, it's really hard to find guys who are playing like below average right now. But I think Loveland is really, really impressing me the past 5 games.
Did you see his reaction on Cole Kmet's touchdown? Like, he's the first one in the end zone. Hoge pointed out the tight ends celebrating together because of the personnel that was on the field. But Colston Loveland's reaction, I mean, you could just tell that they are close, that they do enjoy playing together, because I think this was a conversation we had coming into the season, like, how will these tight ends coexist? I think they are what they say they are. They like playing with each other, and they kind of feed off of it one another in that offense, and they have roles in this offense that Ben Johnson wants to have.
You know, we talk about culture, and I always think it's a bit of a crutch buzzword, but I think what you're seeing right now is good teams have good culture. And so, like, to that point, and I thought Caleb made a great point after the game about the way, and like, if you go back and watch those runs and you watch the way DJ Moore and Roma Odunze are blocking downfield, like, good. That's you like to see that. These are selfless guys that are really, really excited. Now, the second this team takes a dip, how does that thing stay together, right? The 2018 Bears had the best culture we'd ever seen, and the 2019 Bears was, not so much. But right now, you are establishing a pretty impressive foundation of this group. And, obviously a lot of these guys are still going to be together for the next few years.
The receivers are asked not only to block like defensive backs, but linebackers, defensive linemen.
When they motion Rome and like kind of get him, what do they call it, like into the seat, like it's like, what do the coaches on Twitter call it, like the seat insert or
C-gap insert.
C-gap insert. Like, and he's just right there. Got to man up with a guy in the front 7. It's been impressive.
Well, the reason why that's working so well is so many times we see these guys go into motion and then be open in the flat, right? So then when all of a sudden, or Cole Kmet did that once, and then he turned around and wham blocked like defensive tackle. So that's why, I mean, all these plays, pass and run, whichever way you want to look at it, run setting up pass setting up run, like this is an offense that's clicking right now because of all the different plays that are coming off of other plays. It's like, this is what it's supposed to look like. This is why Ben Johnson's so good at what he does, because every single week there's like a new wrinkle based off of what they're scouting the tendencies of. And then, we're going to do this instead. And it's exciting. It makes it fun to watch. Like, I can't wait to see what they have set up for the Packers this week. Right, because it's not going to be the same stuff again.
Do you guys go ahead, Kev?
I'll say, sticking to the run and do you guys remember at the league meetings, Ben Johnson, I don't want to say called out Cole Kmet, but he pointed out that Cole Kmet needs to be a better run blocker. You want to talk about someone that's blocking with violence? Like, a lot of the biggest runs of the season, you see him just engaging with a guy and just with full force. And it's been, and Loveland's been doing it too. But I feel like that's just another extension of how this whole run game, I'm going to sound like a coach here, takes all 11. Like, all 11 of those guys are making an impact.
Going off that, like, I've just come to appreciate like Ben Johnson's philosophy, like in terms of getting Cole Kmet going, getting all these guys, like having them involved in some capacity and realizing how important the roles are, whether it's run plays or setting up different passes. Like, how often have we heard coaches just be like, we're going to take what the defense is going to give us? Ben Johnson's different. Like, we're going to take everything from you. Like, they dictate what they want to do, whether it's like just the movement in the run game. It's complicated for a defense to handle when you see all these moving pieces. Just the aggressiveness, the scheme of it. It's just something that we haven't covered. And I think it's just great that we're not hearing that cliche over and over and again. We're just going to take what the defense is going to give us. We're going to take everything now from the defense because of what we're planning.
Yeah, and then the ideal is that they keep running the ball like this, that's going to continue to open up Caleb Williams to start hitting some of these deep shots. Quick note, as we were talking about some of those good, better, best, I just pulled this up. The Bears have one player with more than 4 tackles for loss this season. And that's Montez Sweat. He's got 11. He's the only one more than 4. Now, again, I'm isolating one stat here. Just for context, the Packers have 5 guys with more than 4 tackles for loss. I know they're a fantastic defense, and maybe it's a high bar, and this defense has had a lot of injuries. And one of those guys who might be getting a lot of TFLs is Kyler Gordon and TJ Edwards, who've both been out. But speaking on like what can get better, like that front can start trying to make some. You want them to start making some more impact plays, and not giving up 5 yards a pop. Because one of these teams is finally going to figure out that like they could just keep running the ball. Like Kevin O'Connell. I keep harping on this. I cannot believe Minnesota like stopped running the ball in that game. I mean, those guys were getting 5-6 yards every time. Then it'd be 3rd and 2, and they're going to put the ball in JJ McCarthy's hands.
But that's why, and I think it's an underrated thing that what the Bears have been doing in a lot of these games is playing with a lead. And that,
yep.
I mean, that kind of, whether they need to abandon the run or not, there's just sort of a tendency to do that once you're trailing. And I think that's helped the Bears. All right, Kevin, great stuff. You got one
By
more
the way,
thing?
Yes, because Mark Potash just tweeted this. This is 10 a.m. on Monday from Potsy. With the Rams loss to the Panthers, the Bears at 9-3 are the current number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs.
Oh, wow. Breaking news from Potsy.
Potash. 10 a.m. on Monday. He tweeted that.
But see, that's a bit. Like,
Yeah,
we know
it's a
that.
bit.
We know that, but most people will be like, "You're late, Mark."
Oh, Potsy. I actually appreciate how people haven't figured out his bit yet. And it continues to enrage people.
Mark Potash, a guest on Breaking with Kevin Fishbane. Great episode.
It was good. And you probably already saw this, Kevin, but who do you think was the first person to respond? Just think of another media member that would respond to that tweet in like under 30 seconds.
Oh, John Greenberg.
Yes.
Nice.
He wrote back, what? So their bits are on fire on a Monday morning together.
Northwestern, Wisconsin basketball Wednesday night, Hoge.
Oh, wow. Already.
Yeah.
It's in Madison, isn't it?
Yep.
Because they don't play in Evanston this year. I was sad.
Yeah.
Wednesday night. What time?
I think it's late. I think it might be an 8 p.m. tip.
Those late games.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys got a chance. We're still figuring stuff out.
Same.
We'll be good by March. It's how we usually roll. What did you get tickets for the Fitz Revenge game yet?
Which one? The one in East Lansing or the one that's here in 2027?
Do they play next year in East Lansing?
Next year they're in East Lansing. 2027
Oh, wow.
they're in Evanston. The one in Evanston is going to be interesting for a lot of reasons.
Yes, I think they both will be, but it'll also be the first time I'm interested in Michigan State football in at least 5 years.
And I've never really had anything against Michigan State. They're just, that was a safe. If Fitz took over Iowa, which was something I was wondering, that would have been really tough.
It's still gonna be weird seeing them in green, but
It's gonna be very strange.
better than Penn State or Iowa. I agree with that. Wisconsin would have been nice, but that job's not open. In case you guys don't know.
Northwestern, by the way, going to a bowl game this year.
Nice. All right, that's enough. Kevin, we appreciate you. There's your 15 seconds on Northwestern, which we hadn't really given you in a while, so you deserved it. And check out the Breaking In pod with Kevin Fishbane. It's great stuff. Read them in The Athletic. You really shouldn't. If you haven't read the Good, Better, Best story, you have to. It's required listen or reading. Although there's probably some way to listen to it on that app or something. We got all that technology these days. Kevin, thank you. We appreciate it. We'll see you. I guess we'll see you at Howell's tomorrow.
Thanks, guys, and shout out Northwestern Field Hockey National Champions back-to-back.
And it is time to talk about Monarch. You've been hearing a lot about it on this show. I'm a big fan of using Monarch. It's a great way to keep all of your financial accounts in one spot, nice and easy and organized. Monarch does all the heavy lifting for you. And right now, for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year with code CHGO at monarch.com. It was named the best budgeting app of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal, and that's because you don't need to track every dollar with it, but ignoring your finances entirely can cost you. So you might be missing out on your chances to save more, invest smarter, and hit your financial goals faster. Like if you want to buy a home, save for retirement, you name it, Monarch helps you stay informed. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code CHGO at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code CHGO.
And Adam, as we've learned this weekend, winter is finally here.
Oh, yeah.
If you're like me, went out there 3-4 times shoveling. I mean, you don't have time to cook. You don't have time to make anything. So that's why I want to tell you about Factor. Factor has these chef prep, dietitian approved meals that make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious no matter how hectic the season gets or no matter how many times you have to shovel. Choose from a wider selection of weekly meals, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. I'm telling you, their steak options are some of my absolute favorites. So eat smart at factormeals.com/CHGO50 off and use code CHGO50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code CHGO50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase.
All right, Johns, we're going to wrap up with one key question that I wanted to ask you as we transition to Packer Week. By the way, Packer Week's already begun. We are on a streak of, I think, 4 straight Blackhawks games where they've done a Green Bay sucks chant. And it was raining from the United Center yesterday. Great come from behind win against the Ducks. Ducks are like the second best team in the West behind Colorado right now.
Great goal by Connor Bedard.
Yeah, well, he had four points. He's unbelievable right now. He's the real deal. He is what everybody wants Caleb Williams to become. I guess that would be by next year, right? Because Connor's in year three. Yeah. So Connor's in year 3. Caleb, if he's doing what Connor's doing by the next year, that would be great for the Bears. They were down 2-0 in like 45 seconds. The building was dead, and by the end, 5-3 victory for the Hawks. Everybody's chanting Green Bay sucks. Just that's the vibe in Chicago right now. It's fun. Enjoy it. And the Bears are certainly leading the charge. It is a huge week against the Packers. Johns, my question to you is, I can tell you with firsthand knowledge, and I think most of the reporters in Green Bay would tell you the same thing too, that Ben Johnson's comment in his introductory press conference, if you listen to the whole thing, he's complimenting basically all the coaches in the NFC North, but he really only compliments Kevin O'Connell and Dan Campbell, and then he says, to be quite frank with you, I enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. And first of all, that was awesome. And I think Bears fans loved it. But I can tell you that definitely, I think, struck a nerve in Green Bay and is something Matt LaFleur is taking personally. And I think Ben Johnson probably knew that when he said it. So now we've arrived. How much do you think that comment matters this week with this rivalry game? And I guess what I'm really asking is, like, do you think it can have an impact on the outcome of the game on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being like, yeah, it 100% like might impact how the Packers play and change the outcome of the game?
I think it matters. Maybe 7.5, because I'm not sure how much it plays out over a full, long 60-minute game, but it's going to matter this week when it comes up in conversations, especially up in Green Bay. when reporters ask Matt LaFleur about it and it becomes a headline and it becomes talked about on the radios and podcasts like ours, it's 100% going to matter this week. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Ben Johnson talks about it himself. Like, if it gets brought up by our good friend Patrick Finley as a conversation point. My read on it, like from the get-go, I believe it was a playful joke where Ben Johnson was playing the hits during his press conference, because we've heard these things before. Like Lovie Smith had his remarks, back in the day when he was hired, and that was Ryan Poles. We're going to take the North and never give it back. Like, these things are said at introductory press conferences, but just like you said, the way it came off, I think Ben Johnson is well aware that it's going to feed into something, at least a storyline or disgust, and maybe piss off Matt LaFleur a little bit. But at the same time, I don't mind it. I don't mind it because I like rivalries. I like a little hate. I like a little banter between the two teams. I covered, speaking of the Blackhawks rivalry versus the Canucks, and there were so many remarks thrown back and forth between the two teams, like nonstop. And I enjoyed covering that.
Some of that myself, like with the Sedin twins, and you're in the hallways of the United Center underneath, like during those playoff series, and they're just going back and forth. Like, it almost felt uncomfortable walking in the opponent's locker room sometimes.
It's the Chicago media, but you're there for those hits. You want Kevin Bieksa to rip the Hawks. You want Ryan Kessler to rip the Hawks, and they did. They did. It went back and forth. But that's what makes rivalries great. Mm-hmm. You want that type of banter, and at the with the Hawks and the Canucks, it mattered because both teams were good. It mattered because both teams were playing for something, just like the Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers will be on Sunday. They're playing for something. They're playing for the NFC North. They're playing for playoff position. They're playing a meaningful football game in December because both teams have winning records. Both teams are good football teams.
Who was the... Oh, my God. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name already. Who was the 3 technique that they signed under Matt Eberflus? It's already gone. The fact that I can't remember his name is actually making my point here.
The first player that popped in my mind was Larry Ogunjobi. He did not play for the Bears because
the one they ended up with. Oh my God, but regardless, like
Justin Jones.
Yeah, Justin Jones,
good player.
He was like, I hate the Packers. Like there was some quote I remember we made like a quote graphic out of it on CHGO, and where I'm going with this, it was like, all right, that's great, but like you guys got to beat them. Like this hasn't been a rivalry. You just got here also. Like, why do you hate the Packers? Like it just seemed a little manufactured. This is a NFC North coach in Ben Johnson, who's been here. Now, he hasn't been a part of this rivalry, but he was at least with the Lions going up against the Packers. And he's the head coach. You don't hear that from the head coach a whole lot. So and now we have 2 good teams finally playing in this game. And the Bears are coming off a win. If you go back to, they are 1-0 against the Packers in 2025, technically. So there's a little bit more juice here to me, that it doesn't feel as manufactured. You also haven't heard these now maybe we'll hear it as the week goes on. I think it's up to sort of the Packers to respond first, like if players in their locker room say some things this week. It'll just, obviously it's something we'll be following all week. And yes, it's fun. It just makes it more fun.
Clay Matthews, during the draft in Green Bay, let's not forget this, pretended that he got a phone call from President Trump and a letter from him and opened it up on the stage. And what was in that letter was, the Bears still suck.
Yeah.
So I think it matters plenty. I think it makes this more fun from someone who covers it, and the banter is good for football. Like, I miss old-fashioned rivalries where teams actually hate each other a little bit, where players don't like each other. And maybe this is Ben Johnson just adding to that fuel a little bit. And I think it's needed because it's been one-sided for way too long.
Last thing I'll say on this, and I just had to laugh because I tweeted out that there was the Green Bay sucks chant at the United Center, and there's all these Packer fans in there.
Yeah.
We're living rent-free in your heads and all this stuff. And it's like, John, do you know how many weddings I've been to in the state of Wisconsin where there's literally a song the DJ starts playing, "The Bears Still Suck"?
Yeah.
Like at a wedding.
Yeah.
Like this is at least a sporting event. Like you guys do the same thing. And guess what? You should. It's fun. So, but those responses are all part of it too. So the Bears have their Green Bay sucks chant. You guys have your Bears still suck chant. Everybody's doing it. Now let's see a good football game where they can actually, go out there and battle for something that matters.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Just like, again, Hawks, Canucks, the trash talk makes it more exciting.
Right. Like Connor Bedard and McTavish yesterday. That was great. They got into it the face-off circle. Bedard won the face-off, buried an empty netter, and then just started talking shit.
Yes. Yeah.
It was amazing. Oh, I love it. I hope we have a moment like that. And I hope the refs are smart enough to let them play a little bit before they start throwing flags. All right. Well, we'll see if that line moves. Seems a little crazy that it started at 6. It's already down to 5.5. But honestly, I think it's what the Bears at this point, they're probably enjoying the disrespect a little bit. We'll be back Wednesday. We will definitely go a little bit deeper on the Packers. This seems like a matchup where maybe we do a couple shows. Obviously, our full preview show will be on Friday, but we'll definitely be following these storylines throughout the week. So we'll talk to you on Wednesday morning, and then again on Friday with our preview episode. Please hit that like button on your way out. Hit subscribe. Check out our Cyber Monday deal. Take advantage of it. 67% off right now. The Die Hard membership and a free t-shirt or hat when you sign up. It's a great deal. I should clarify. I think it's just a free t-shirt. I don't think you can get the hat for free, but it's there to purchase. And we do have great deals going on as the Black Friday Cyber Monday sale continues as well. All right. That's going to do it for us. Check us out on CHGO, of course, throughout the week, 1 p.m. CHGO Bears podcast. Including today on Monday, and we'll have coverage for you. A big week, Bears, Packers. Love these weeks. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.
See ya.